Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome in to the Fitness Fanatics, the first Sunday in April. We got a bunch of stuff going on coming up. First of all, I wanted to thank our sponsor of Fitness Fanatics, Integrated Life Choices. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrated Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. People can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to them. Thank you for sponsoring our show. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be joined in about 30 minutes by Mark Onweiler, who is in the middle of his annual challenge. He has a pretty remarkable story. So we're going to be chatting with him for 90 minutes. We also have our 10-week challenge starting this coming Saturday. So we have about 50 people signed up to take part in the challenge. It's going to be pretty awesome. So if it's something you're interested in throughout the show, please text any questions to us at 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. Just over the last couple weeks, it's interesting that as I'm talking to people about signing up, they'll say, well, I listen to you guys on the radio on Sundays. And so it's like every week I learn that we have more and more listeners. So it's just pretty cool. So if you're listening today and you have questions, any questions about the upcoming 10-week challenge, please feel free to text the show for the whole 2 hours. We're also making our TV debut today for the Fitness Fanatics on Allo. I believe it's channel 951. Correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
I thought you made it on there with the drive, or maybe that was another week I'm thinking of.
I mean, I was on there, but this is our first time our show.
Oh, okay. First time for Fitness Fanatics.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, it's channel 951. There's pretty much no excuse anymore as to why you can't find our content. We pretty much got it everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. You can put a face to the voice that way, and through Allo, channel 951. Or if you're just listening on the airwaves, you can text in 402-464-5685 for the Starter Heyman text line. So again, there's just a ton of ways to watch all our content now. And Allo, we pretty much just got running that all day now. So you can if you really want, we got, broadcast set up for 3 a.m. So if you want some more ticket, you wake up at 3, you can still throw that on. So it's kind of cool. And it's kind of cool that your guys' first debut here on Allo.
Yep.
But things at the ticket are just picking up. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
And it's our birthday today.
Well, anniversary.
Anniversary?
I know.
Yeah, it's our 1-year anniversary.
It's more fun to say birthday.
It is?
I've never heard that. Someone referred to it as birthday.
It was born a year ago.
So in June, when we've been married 25 years, it's our 25th birthday.
That's an anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was born, though.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So 1 year we've been on the air.
I was being whimsical. Sorry.
So 1 year we've been on the air. We've had some amazing guests, a bunch of student athletes. We've had local business owners that have to do with health and wellness. We've had motivational speakers on. We've had some of Farrell's $10,000 winners on, our $1,000 winners. I mean, just had so many awesome guests and stories. And we're always looking for more of those. So if you're out there listening and you have a great success story that you feel would be worth sharing with our audience and the Tickets audience, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you come in studio and be on the show with us. So that's what we're looking for. Next week, we will not have a show. It's Easter Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want, everybody to have to come in and work for us on Sunday. So we're just next Sunday will be a national broadcast, I believe, with the affiliates here for the Ticket. So you have a week off, but on that Sunday, you can go back and get caught up on some episodes that you may have missed.
Yeah, running with the
Over the
Bulls.
last
What was
year.
that? 2 weeks ago?
It was a couple years ago. Did you listen to that one?
Not years, but yeah,
No, a
weeks.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to listen to it. I was looking for it. Which is it right away in the
It
first
was
hour?
the 26th.
No.
He had joined us like at 9:30, so it was
okay.
it was the second segment.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I got to hear that again. Because
Yeah.
again, and you guys had someone who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are getting some crazy guests. And again, all those
Yeah.
podcasts are up there. Ticketfm.com. You can catch all of those. But definitely get some unique stories.
I know.
You'll
Is this
have to
a-
listen to. I was trying to go back and listen to that episode with Brad, or the show with Brad, because I was gonna pull a snippet off, but he's so calm and quiet, and he talks so slow that I couldn't even really find a good clip to use. But when you're listening to it, you're just like involved in
Yeah.
what he's saying. Like it's it's a juxtaposition.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
very
cool.
interesting. I highly recommend going back and listening to that if you haven't. His stories about all of his adventures. Our last $1,000 winner, Brad.
In 2 weeks, well, this is actually my last show until the 23rd.
I don't know why you're being so dramatic about it. You're gonna miss one show.
Hey, you know what? I've missed
That-
one show
that-
in a year, so it
No,
is dramatic.
we've missed one together, at least one together. We haven't had a show
Okay,
a couple times.
all right. Well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be playing Harrison in the Tecmo Super Bowl World Championships in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh, you're going up to the Green Bay. Huh? Oh,
Driving-
that's right. It's
Yep.
Isn't it always in Wisconsin, up in Green Bay?
Yes,
The
yes.
Tundra Bowl, right?
Driving up to Green Bay in 2 weeks. Going to take a little tour of Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I'm a little salty about that because you and Ben are gonna go tour Lambeau. It's not even your team.
Oh, you're bringing Ben with you?
Yeah.
You guys are going to see Lama and Nicole stays home.
Yeah. Rude.
Well,
No.
somebody has to run the gym. It's week one of the
At
challenge.
the end of week one.
And as
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
Green Bay fans, it makes sense that you
Right.
and Ben go to
That's
Orlando.
right. Well, he
they
wants,
love seeing
he,
stadiums and
he
stuff
wants
like.
to see this. He's seen the stadium in Nashville and he's seen Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
But he's never actually been inside
You know
of
what,
a pro football stadium. So
what
we're
you
going to
should
do a
get
tour.
him is I got one of those canvases and it just has stars. For me, it's NBA arenas.
Mm,
But if he's a football fan, it's just like a map, and then you just got stars for each NFL
Yeah.
city, and then you just check mark them. You put little flags on each one you've been to.
Oh, that's
It's
kinda
kind of
cool.
it's a fun thing for
That is
sports
cool.
fans. Like
Yeah.
it'll get you fired up,
Oh,
and
he
then
would
you'll
love
just have
that.
a long time commitment of like trying to finish this lifetime
Yeah.
dream of a canvas.
he would love that. He likes
Well, and on
doing
our
that.
way back, we drive through Madison, Wisconsin. So we're going to stop and I'm going to kind of deface Camp Randall with my throwing the bones with my Husker shirt on, which I've done at Iowa Stadium, Iowa State Stadium, Notre Dame Stadium. Now Wisconsin is coming up next.
Yep.
So, and Ben's pretty excited too because we've been to the Iowa Stadium, we've been to Illinois Stadium, obviously Nebraska, and then we're going to stop at Wisconsin, and then we're trying to go to Minnesota next fall for the opening game up in Minneapolis. So that'll be 5 Big Ten stadiums that he'll have been to.
What's
So,
been the favorite so far, outside of Nebraska?
well, we've only been to one game.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you've seen
We-
the fields.
yeah,
okay.
we-
Or what walked around the campus. Notre Dame was really cool. That was on a road trip and we stopped.
Well,
and-
Notre Dame was really cool.
I can see Notre Dame being up there.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things where you see the stuff on TV,
Mhm.
like the touchdown Jesus and the
Mhm.
Golden Dome. And so when we were there, it was just 2 years ago. We stopped and to see all those things. And I took a picture. I was wearing a Husker shirt and we took a picture of me throwing the bones in front of touchdown Jesus.
Mhm.
Right. So then I had to go into the cathedral and get some holy water to cleanse myself. Ask for forgiveness. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be cursed or anything, you
No.
know.
Cross your bases, make sure you're
Yeah.
good.
Right.
It's like it's not about you. I'm not.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not nothing personal.
Oh.
It was a cool campus.
Yeah, and we couldn't see in the stadium. It's not like Nebraska Stadium where you can go in a gate and just look and see
kinda look and
everything.
see the field.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was they had a big group of recruits there that they were walking around campus when
There's
we
you
were
in
there
your
wearing
Husker
my
gear.
Husker t-shirt.
And were you throwing
You
the
know.
bones?
Well, I
while
was
they're
trying-
walking by.
I was giving them the eye, you know. But I don't know if they were probably like, what's this person doing over here?
I'm
Yeah.
sure they see it. The Nebraska Red, they're just everywhere. One place I do want to go down is Arizona, just to go. Because I was talking to the golfers and they had a tournament down, I believe can't remember who was hosting, but it was down in Arizona, and they said like every hole was just like Husker supporters everywhere.
Oh,
Just
wow.
and like Arizona must be a big snowbird state.
Oh, that makes sense.
absolutely.
Nebraska.
Yeah. It is. That's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
my dad used to go down there, and my uncles, and they'd all go down to Yuma for 5 months. My uncles still do go down there. So yeah, a lot of Husker fans that travel south for the
Yep.
winter.
Mhm.
I do have, Harrison, I have an interesting Lisa Bluter story for you.
Okay.
Because the Iowa women are playing and some of
know.
my Iowa friends, like I texted one of my good friends that I mean text every day about Iowa, and he's big women's basketball fan, and he woke up our Sunday, I texted him and I was like, or
Today?
yesterday, I texted him, I was like, now I know you've never heard this words uttered in your entire life, and he's like in his mid-60s.
Yeah.
I'm like, Iowa is playing for a national championship. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So it's just funny, but I'm excited for him. So anyway, Lisa Bluter, who's the coach at Iowa, about probably 30 years ago.
Don't do the math.
Maybe I was a 16-year-old kid. Lisa Bluter used to coach at Drake.
Okay.
That's where she coached before she went to Iowa. So she's been in Iowa 23 years, is what I saw on the broadcast. So probably 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I served her at Godfather's Pizza in West Des Moines.
No kidding.
Yep.
Now, was she a regular, or she just was there that one day? Why was I thinking she was regular?
Just the one day that I remember her coming in. I don't know why she was over there,
I don't know
but
why you
So you
remember that.
recognized her right away though when she came in. You're
I
like, I'm serving.
recognized her, and then the boss Sean, he was, we were like talking about it, but
because it was in Iowa,
Yeah.
so obviously
I took her order, made her pizza, walked it out to her, and
I thought she was a regular. That was a much better story when she
No.
came in every Tuesday to get whatever. I don't know.
yeah, it
but
would have been a better story,
I
but
don't
no,
know why I thought that.
it was just a one time. But as a 16-year-old, you're like, oh, this is a basketball coach. I mean, so it's pretty cool.
Might be a national champion.
I wonder if she remembers me.
I'm sure she was like, I remember.
Probably to this day, that's probably the best pizza she's ever had.
That's
If they win it
possible.
all, she might shout you out.
Because
I
was
stick around.
Yeah.
I was good. I mean, I was,
Maybe not then.
no, I was
You
good
were a
then.
baby.
Yeah, I was, but I mean, I made some good pizza. I was worked at Godfather's for 10 years. I was, I mean, top notch.
Godfather's is good too.
Interesting.
I haven't had that in a long time though, to be honest. Now
Yeah.
we always go Lincoln's Pub. Shout out Lincoln's Pub. I'm a fiend for
Wow.
their pizza now.
I don't think we've ever had it.
Where's that at?
It's so you know where Dak Shack is downtown?
Nope.
It's oh man, I want to say
I know where PBA is, and I know where Muchachos is.
14th
The stadium.
and
I know where the
it
stadium
might
is.
be like 14th and P. Let me double check here real quick.
So it's just downtown. Lincoln's Pub. Interesting.
Yeah. No, I did think she was more of a regular for you.
No.
but-
So that's kind of my tie to Lisa Bluter. So I've met her and served her pizza back in the mid 90s.
I hope you had your belt on that day.
Oh,
I hope you were fully compliant
I
with the
was
dress code.
clean shaven belt, shirt tucked in, hat on, everything.
Good.
I was a big rule follower back then.
Yeah.
Now you go into Godfather's and shirts are untucked and wearing Metallica shirts. I'm like, this is chaos there.
Kids these days.
I know it.
Well,
No
we
belt.
will be watching about it.
Yeah, and I'm very, 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 very excited that this game starts at 2:30.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it
nice.
was 1:30.
No, it's 2:30.
No, 3:30 Eastern time.
Oh, okay.
So
it's
2:30 here.
Okay.
Mark texted in, so he's listening, driving in. Hopefully, he's not just
Yeah,
you know
it was
not
at a
texting.
stoplight.
Oh, okay. So he
I
said
don't know, I
Lincoln's
just made
Pub's
that
48th and Layton.
Yep, 48th
Yeah.
and late.
Oh,
So
okay.
Harrison was going to make us go downtown, like driving down O Street trying to find this, like 14th, and it's on 48th, which is close by our house. Like
Yeah.
we're on 56 and Pioneer. So we're
48th and late.
48th and
Interesting.
Layton. Thank you, Mark. Now
I'm spoiled. I get it delivered here to the station, so I never have to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little spoon fed over here.
what's
so-
this right down the street from here then? 48th and Layton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quick little jaunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have great food. They have like a mozzarella, or it's a, I think they just call it their meatball sub, but it's like it's almost like a pizza, and they just like load it with meatballs, banana peppers, marinara, and then it's got that fire What do you call it? The brick ovens
Oh yeah.
over there. So you get that real nice bread, and it's so good.
Mm.
It's every Monday I get it. It's so
Every Monday.
Your routine.
yeah. Shout out Speed and Power for hooking it up for me. Otherwise, I
Okay.
probably wouldn't get it.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Do they sponsor
awesome.
that show?
Yep.
Or? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So that's with
Good.
Megan Walker. She brings on guests every Monday at 6 to 7, and she last week it was just us, but the week before that we had Trey Palmer, and the week before that we had Nick Bryant. So she does
Yeah.
a pretty good job getting some awesome guests in there.
Now, was
Very
it
cool.
Newelly on that also?
Yeah,
Or is he-
it's a little different now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with football coming up, I think the time window is just kind of making it tough for him. So,
Okay.
I
So
wouldn't be
who-
surprised if he's on more.
Who's
but-
the power? Is she both speed and power now?
Yeah, I mean, it can't be either of me. So she's kind of left her own on that title.
Because I know that's why
That's
it
cool.
was started, was because
Yeah.
he's a track athlete and a football player.
Lesnar always said he was just the end, even when he was there.
He wasn't the power. He
No,
wasn't
just-
the power or
He's just
anything.
the end. There's speed. He's the end, and then
Yeah.
Meg's
Oh,
also
okay.
the power.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
That's
That makes
awesome.
sense. All
That's
right.
really cool. But yeah, we will be watching the basketball game. I have found that I enjoy watching women's basketball much more than men's basketball. It's just more fast paced and it doesn't take as long. And really, we've only been watching Iowa. So, I mean, you're watching Caitlin Clark the
Yeah,
whole
she's
time.
just fun to watch.
Right.
Well,
So,
and we've seen her in
she's
person,
really
which
fun to
makes it
watch.
cool too.
Well, I
Like,
haven't,
Ben
but-
and I saw her in person. Like I talked to my brother yesterday, called me and I said, "Well, no, we went to the Iowa Nebraska women's game." And he's like, "You've seen Caitlin Clark? Like this is my 50-year-old brother, right? Like this, he hasn't watched a women's basketball game in his whole life, I don't think, but he's watched like the last 4
Yeah.
Iowa
Yeah.
games, and he lives in Iowa, so."
They
but
are
yeah.
great to watch.
So they're just captivating the state,
Mhm.
Nobody really gives me a hard time about Iowa women's basketball. Like nobody texts me and says, "Oh, Nebraska sucks."
Well,
or
and
anything
here's
like
the
that.
thing, like, I think we're all drawn to watching greatness, and there hasn't been any Iowa greatness on the football field, so it's not like we've had the opportunity to even want to root for the Hawkeye football team. So
That's a good
No.
point.
Right.
Even on the men's side, there really isn't that player this year on the men's side that like they're just a step ahead of everyone else. Like,
oh yeah,
the
right.
women's bat, it's definitely like you said, it's watching greatness, and like when you watch her drop 41 points,
Yeah.
against the touted South Carolina
Yeah.
Gamecocks that haven't lost. Still, it's like
That was
it's just fun
crazy.
watching greatness like that. Like even though it's Iowa, like she's winning me over.
Yeah, me
like
too.
it's just so fun to watch.
It's like she has multiple personalities when she's on the court. Like she could do everything. Well, not everything. She's not very good at
Well,
defending, but
we were trying to talk ourselves into because our daughter, when she was like
oh,
5 and 6,
You
played
were.
youth basketball at the Altoona campus, and there was this little girl on the team that was like a superstar, and we're like, "Oh, that had to have been her when she was 5 years old." I mean,
yeah.
I think
we don't
Katie-
know really where because she went to Dowling,
That's
which is a
right.
private school,
Right.
so she could have really grown up anywhere. And obviously we've done zero research to see where she grew up, but it was just kind of funny because
We
they're
saw her
similar
play.
age. So Jeff has
She-
convinced himself that
she's
was
a year.
her.
Caitlin Clark's a year older than our daughter,
Mhm.
So you've seen
So
her
it's
twice now. live.
conceivable. But I mean, I remember
I
this.
wish I knew
This
who
girl
that
was just a phenomenal.
She was.
just, 6 years old. Just, going all over the
I
court.
mean,
It was
there's
pretty
a
cool.
chance. I'd say it's slim, but
I
not
think-
impossible.
I think it
very
is.
slim, but
I think it
I
is.
wish we could figure out.
I'm
who
pretty
that was.
confident that it is.
Yeah, she might have just not even been. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of a rec league type work for for her starting it out, and
Could have been.
I don't know. As far as you're
Mhm.
concerned,
As far as I'm concerned, it was.
yeah.
So anyway, it was cool watching that game on Friday night, just contrasting in styles and like it's like they were just begging South Carolina to shoot a 3.
I thought they should have taken him after a point. I
Okay.
think if I'm the coach, I'm like, just,
Well, she did. There was one gal that she was 21% 3-point shooter,
Mhm.
made 3 threes in the third quarter, in the
Mhm.
second half. Like they're
Yeah.
just like, shoot it, and she hit 3 threes.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, are you kidding me? They could be up by way more if she was missing those. But
Yeah.
I don't think it was disrespectful. Like I know
Nah, it's
some of
just
the
knowing
LSU
the game plan.
LSU
No.
players were like, "Oh, it's disrespectful. She can't guard us like that." Well, it's like you're not gonna leave Steph Curry open like that
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
say, "Well, we don't need to guard him," right?
That's just knowing your opponent. And
That's
she
right.
wanted to stay out of. She didn't want to get called for a foul.
Didn't wanna
Like
get
that would
called
be a
for- yeah.
stupid foul to get on a not great 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
like
you
why
just-
risk that?
Right, because she could.
But
do
yeah,
it.
no, she didn't need to waver off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, that was
people are
great.
saying.
But she backs it up
I love
though.
it.
Like, come on,
Just-
she's
we don't
not.
need to guard this.
I think
Right.
it's definitely.
She's not
Awesome.
mediocre. She's earned
Yeah.
this. I don't know. I don't know why people are so hard on her about it.
Like
but
to me, that's just competitive. Like you know,
I
it
mean,
is.
like
yeah.
she's just like shoot it. Like I dare you.
Yeah.
Like
I-
tell
like,
me,
eh.
tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I
I
dare.
like that stuff.
I
Yeah,
do
to me,
too.
it's-
Like, come on, you know,
Yeah,
Because she is that way on the field, but she does
the
handle
court,
herself.
honey,
Or
the court.
The court. I don't know why I
Not the
said field.
field.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I know. The court, but she's very well spoken outside of the game too. Like she does a good job of giving people credit and
She
stuff like
does,
that.
yes.
So it's
that's
like
a good point. If
yeah.
you listen to her after that
Yeah.
game, she didn't go be like, "Yeah, I wasn't guarding her. She's
No,
terrible."
right,
She's
yeah.
like, "No, that's a great team."
Yeah,
Yeah.
she seems like a good person. She's just
Well-
competitive and she's earned it.
And are you gonna? You want everybody down low because that's where South Carolina's strength is. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, they're packing it for a reason.
Oof.
'Cause
Right.
They knew like that's the threat. Like if
Right.
we let these guys go to the rim, we're undersized.
Mhm.
right. So you just, I mean, so it was a good strategy.
Mhm.
I don't know if they can do it today though. That's gonna be.
You
I mean,
said that about this last game.
There's part of me that's like, if they win, I'll be excited. If they lose, you know. Oh, we got a
I'll be
text.
sad if
Okay.
they lose.
We got a text from 868 said, enough about Iowa and Caitlin Clark. This is Nebraska. How can you even compare
I
to
know.
cheering for Creighton? Well, I don't cheer for Creighton. Hate everything Iowa. Now, we did live in Iowa for 38 years.
And
so
my
Yeah, you guys got
family-
some Iowa.
I grew
Yeah.
up watching
ties.
way more Iowa basketball than Iowa football. Like my family, my grandpa and grandma watched Iowa football or basketball. We had a late night last night. My voice is a little froggy, but so that's kind of maybe why I like watching Iowa basketball too, because I grew up watching Iowa basketball, but didn't really watch very much
Yeah.
football.
I will say, I'm surprised you guys aren't like diehard Iowa fans.
Ew.
No,
From like being,
Ew.
coming from Iowa.
Jeff was
No.
born in
I
Nebraska.
was born in Nebraska. When you're born in
family's-
Nebraska,
yeah.
you have Husker red blood in you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good
so,
to know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on from Iowa. We're a show for the people. So we did have some. We had a
We're trying to
birthday.
expand our listenership.
We had a birthday party yesterday where we had a bunch of our relatives from Michigan that came over. Huge Husker fans, and talking to them. I was trying them to drink the Roule-Aid yesterday. Trying to get them all excited about Nebraska football. And my cousin said he took his 10-year-old daughter down to the stadium, walked around, showed her the trophies. And I remember coming to Nebraska as a kid, you know, we would kind of do the same thing. We'd park at the stadium, we'd walk around, and then there was a little shop across the street called the Big Red Shop.
Okay, yeah.
So if anybody remembers the Big Red Shop from back in the day, now it's the park, now it's the Champion Center, Club Center's there, but it was like just a two-way street, and you'd park and then you walk across the street, and there's this little, probably as big as this office, not this office, but the studio. And it was just really cool. It's like kind of a little tradition. We'd go to King's to eat. We'd eat at Valentino's. We go to the Big Red Shop and get some Husker stuff. So that was like kind of brought me back to when you know my dad would bring us here, and we would go in the Big Red Shop and get some Husker stuff.
Mhm.
But now it's not there anymore.
Yeah, when did how long ago was that?
That
when
was
you
a
got rid of it?
long time ago.
I
He's
remember.
old.
I
Jeff's
don't
old,
remember. It.
remember?
Yeah.
No.
So I was thinking it's probably before my time, right? Because I got down to Lincoln in
Yeah.
2018. It was gone before 20.
way
Okay.
before your time. Wait, I don't even think you were around. Like,
Yeah,
thought
probably
of.
not.
Alive.
Yeah, I don't even think you were thought of when this was there. So, but it was the Big Red Shop. It was really, really cool little store, and so you know it was cool for, you know, him bringing his daughter down and bringing her to the stadium, and he said he went into the North Stadium, showed her the trophies and stuff, and he said he saw Coach McGuire. I was like, well, did you say anything? Well, no. Well, I would have said something
Yes,
like, "Hey,
you
Coach,
would have,
can you come on the
embarrassingly.
Fitness Fanatics and
Yeah.
be one of our guests one of these
Uh,
days?"
It's worth a shot. You got to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
if I-
know.
well, yes, I would ask him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we are old enough to be his parents.
We are.
We got married before he was born, so we're ready.
Yep.
So we can invite him on here. But all right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be joined by Mark Onweiler when we come back. So don't go anywhere on Fitness Fanatics.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now, heart is what creates success, not alcohol or others. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
They got close enough where you could start to envision, Creighton might do this thing. And if they do,
that would have been so cool.
What does that mean for Nebraska? I did find myself rooting for Creighton. I didn't know how it would feel if they got, and I realized, I think I'm going to cheer for Nebraska for Nebraska. That'd be cool. I don't know if I go that far.
I wouldn't cheer, but I'd be there.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you play and seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a day and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, we all do a little, we change a lot.
Victor deployed for Afghanistan in 2003. 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury, was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill their journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 937theticket.com.
Alrighty, welcome back in to Fanatics. We are joined in studio by somebody that ticket listeners may have heard of this person or not. I mean, I don't know, maybe not. Mark Onweiler has found his way into the studio. How are you this morning?
Yeah, it's good. I don't get to this part of the building a whole lot, you know. I had to ask for directions a couple times. But no, thanks for having me in, guys. And congratulations on your 1-year anniversary.
Birthday.
I know, it's
birthday.
Birthday.
It's our birthday.
Okay.
Anniversary's fine. I'm just kidding.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
1 year. So it was 1 year ago today, or maybe yesterday. But anyway, 1 year ago that we debuted the show, and you were sitting where Harrison's at right now.
Yep.
Listening. We had Lance Farrell call in, and now if we did that today, would have Lance on the stream so people could see him. But you know, we didn't really know.
No, we weren't new.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know.
You weren't new.
I'm just
We were
like,
new, but yeah.
I'm like, just call in. I mean, I didn't know that there was another option, really.
Yeah.
So I just gave him the number. He called in. But if we have him on again, we definitely have him on the stream. So, you know, people could see Lance and stuff like that. But so you sat here and listened to Lance talk about Farrell's and why it's been successful and the challenge. And then he also had just climbed Mount Kilimanjaro as well, talking about his experience.
Apparently that's the thing to do.
Apparently, because our one of our instructors, Amy, has also climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
So shout out to Amy Wagner.
Yeah.
Big Fitness Fanatics listener.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't have any desire to do it, but I mean, if you know,
that's cool.
You climbed some pretty big hills.
Yeah.
You know, you got
Scotts
that on the resume.
We have climbed up the Scotts Bluff Monument. And then Telegraph Pass in Yuma, Arizona. We climbed that also. So we have about 700 feet combined.
Nice.
That's pretty close to 1,900 feet. So
19. Oh, it is. Okay.
What was
I
what was
think
Mount
you're right.
Kilimanjaro? It's like 1,900 feet.
1,000.
Yeah.
not 100.
Yeah.
1900.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Under 20 or right just at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mount Everest is like 27,000.
Yeah. We were combined. Telegraph Pass had pretty good elevation actually.
Yeah.
But
so we're
anyway, so it was a year ago.
A year ago, yes. And so after the show, you know, we were out in the hallway and you're like, you know, I think maybe I should do this.
That's not what he said.
No, yeah.
You weren't even part of the conversation. It was Mark and I talking.
No,
And Mark was like, well, I mean, I guess if you want somebody to do the program.
Yeah, right.
From the
I
ticket.
just thought it would be good content for your show.
Yeah.
Basically, I needed a cover, so I didn't look like I was just begging to do your stuff.
Yeah.
So I came up with a cover story that it would be good for the radio.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I suppose
you were gracious enough to allow me.
Yeah. Yep. So that is how it actually happened. You weren't even at part of the conversation, so I don't know why.
I was scared of you, Jess. I went to Nicole.
Yourself. That was before you knew how.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Go the other direction.
now Mark would come to me with
Absolutely
instead of you. So
no.
But yeah,
Before I hurt
so
his feelings telling me he wasn't special.
And he still isn't special.
And neither are you, and neither am I.
I know that.
Harrison, though.
Harrison is special.
Appreciate that, guys. I will take that gracefully.
So 1 year ago, you signed up to do the 10-week challenge. I'm sure that you just weren't expecting what has happened over the last year to happen.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. What did you think when you first signed up? And honestly, I expected to do the 10 weeks and then be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of went in with the mindset of let's see what happens. You know, let's kind of take it out of my control. Let's take the expectations away from it.
Plus, you were giving yourself some pretty big like pressure too, because we were going to be talking about it too. So I think that was good for you to do.
It was, and you guys over the last year, you've mentioned that accountability a lot, and it definitely helped to have to come in here and face the music a little bit one way or the other. But no, I went in kind of wide-eyed and just wanted to see what can I accomplish. You know, I've never really done anything where I go all in on it. You know, I've lost weight a couple times, you know, 30 pounds here, 40 pounds there, always gained it back. But I've never thought let's go all in with the food. Let's go all in with the exercise. Let's just get rid of any of the excuses that I can give myself as to, well, I would have done better, except let's get rid of that except.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the I told Nicole, she found this quote that I was talking to AD and Raph about it, which I think really kind of hits home is you don't have to be extreme, just consistent. So like, over the last year, I personally don't think you've been extreme. Like extreme to me is like, okay, I'm doing 500 calories. I mean, I'm just gonna. That's kind of extreme, right?
Crash diets, just
Yes,
running
yes.
yourself into the ground with exercise, stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, just crazy things to manipulate your body to do things that it's not really shouldn't be doing. Short-term fixes.
Mhm.
So, when people are asking us about, their changes and Nicole, we'll tell people, who's consistent? Mark's consistent.
I have said that.
Have you?
Yeah.
So it's like, when you come and you work out a day or two, and then you don't work out for a week, and then it's a day, and then you're off 3 days, and then you eat healthy for one meal, and then you don't, and you're never really giving your body the time that it needs to get that ball rolling, to where you're just in fat burning mode all the time. So that's kind of what you've been is the model of consistency. You're consistently knowing what you're eating, you're consistently working out, and you've had some fun over the last year.
For sure.
You've had some free meals, and you've had some drinks, and it's not like you've deprived yourself over the last year. So that's kind of the theme of this show today is you don't have to be extreme, just be consistent.
Yeah. The fun. I mean, you're right. I've had some experiences along the way, and food and drink are always kind of part of that,
Right.
So for me, when it comes to things like that, it's picking and choosing, planning ahead, knowing I've got something next weekend. So let's be good this weekend. I did something last weekend. Let's get back on track. It's sort of just being more cognizant of that rather than every night ends with a couple beers, or every meal's got to be the best meal I've ever had, or things like the most indulgent meal I've
Your
ever
last
had.
meal.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Final
That's
meal.
kind of how I lived before. Was every meal was my last meal. And I mean, to the point where I'd sit here at the office and spend an hour trying to figure out what I wanted for lunch because I wanted it to be the best meal I've ever had. So it was absolutely a shift in mindset to try to be more consistent, more steady, and pick and choose those moments a little bit.
So over the 10 weeks, I believe you had lost like 36 pounds, which is, I mean, really awesome. And again, the cool thing is you're eating 2,300 calories. So you don't have to go on a starvation diet to lose weight. If you're, if you follow Jordan Syed, who we had on here in January, which would be another great podcast to go listen to, he's always like, people ask me this, people ask me that, like, how do I lose fat? You have to be in a calorie deficit. You don't have to be in an extreme calorie deficit. You just have to be in a calorie deficit. So when we give you your macros, we're like, okay, Mark, you need to eat 2,300 calories. It seems like a ton, like, how am I going to be in a calorie deficit? But we give you like what you're burning. You just sat in the chair all day long.
Right.
So you're burning way more calories than your basal metabolic rate. So you have a really good calorie deficit, but you're still fueling your body with what it needs to sustain the muscle mass, and you're not depriving your body of anything.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big shift for me because, like I said, I had lost weight before. Well, I did it by severely restricting calories, and that was the only number I would pay attention to was calories. I didn't know anything about macros other than protein's probably important, and milk has calcium, right? Like,
right.
That's not the extent of what I knew.
That's a micronutrient, calcium, micronutrient. Next level.
Still learning.
Learning
Okay.
New things.
But I would track and I'd be at about 1,800 calories then doing it that way. So to go in and, I mean, my breakfasts when I was doing the 10-week challenge, it was 2 eggs and turkey sausage and toast. And I'd come in and I'd have tuna and yogurt and Triscuits. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'd list off everything I ate, and my wife would go, "How are you possibly losing weight?" Because she's like, "I had a salad."
And I gained a pound.
Exactly. She's like,
it's a whole other list of annoying things for men and women, but yes.
And I fully admit that even now. I'm like, look, you guys are not going to like me very much, but I eat a lot.
Yeah.
And I apologize in advance.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's because you're going off of what your body needs. And so I think that's a big part of being consistent, because I feel like it would have been a lot harder for you to continue to eat 1,800 calories for the last year.
For sure.
And at that point too, when you're eating 1,800, just for you, that's not very much. And when you're consistently eating that, it definitely makes it harder to continue to lose weight. So I think that's what's good too, because you start at that higher point, and then you have so much more wiggle room if you need to go down in your calories or you need to go up a little bit. So I think, especially with like the 10-week challenge, it can be, or anything you're starting where there's a start and a finish time. Sometimes we like want to come out the gate flying, and then if eating 2,300 calories is giving me this, well, what if I only eat 2,000? What if I only eat 1,800? And then when we see that happen, a lot of times those are the people who don't finish or don't have the results they want at the end, because they didn't trust the process and they didn't do it in a sustainable way. So you're just super fortunate that like it's a formula that works for you.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
just has really, I keep saying this because it seems effortless. If we had like a flip book of your transformation in the last year, like it seems really effortless, because it's something that your body's responded to really well. But the important thing is that you took the time to learn how to do it and stay consistent.
And I'm fortunate to have a job where I've literally got a drawer right next to me that's filled with foods I can eat throughout the day. I've got a mini fridge sitting right there. I know not everybody's in that situation where they can have everything at their fingertips like I've been able to do over the last year. But it's worked for me. It's a formula that I have found success with.
Yep.
And I always laugh when at the end of the day I've got 400 calories still to play with or whatever it is. I'm like, well, I got to go make an omelet or something. I know we just ate, but I'm going to go eat some more because I need it, not because it's what the body needs. It's just to get through the workouts in the morning.
Right.
Yes. I need that fuel in me.
Yep.
Well, and you talked about, you have a drawer, you have a mini fridge, but think back to February of 2022, right? Now you open your drawer and you probably got some almonds and maybe a protein bar, or, some pretzel sticks or some Triscuits, in your fridge. You probably have some boiled and hard-boiled eggs, maybe some string cheese, some yogurt, stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And
do we want to play that game? Do you want to play what's in my drawer right now?
Yeah.
But that's
you're
probably
hitting like 80% right
that's
now.
probably pretty close. But February
And why is that? Because you're not special. That's why.
we know.
That does not make you special. That makes you normal.
And in February of 2022, when we look in the fridge, there was probably Pepsi, maybe a Mountain Dew,
candy bars,
instead of like Snickers, cupcakes. I mean, who knows what's in there?
The fridge was there for beer. That's honestly
Beer, right.
why the fridge is in my office. It was for my beer podcast.
Okay.
So it was filled, stocked, overflowing with beer. And there was probably office supplies in the drawer. Weird things like that.
Right, because you were looking forward to your lunch every day of what
Yeah,
you were
exactly.
Eat. You weren't
went
even
out
snacking. Right. Yeah.
I do. I don't know if we have time right now. I do want to talk about how I ate before, because it was a problem. I think it's something that folks can relate to a little bit, but like I was spiraling when it came to food. Like it was a problem. I would sit in the parking lot with my lunch as I'm Googling Overeaters Anonymous. Like it was a problem for me.
Yeah.
So I do want to spend some time on that later.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that because that's relatable.
And what's interesting is like, so you were Googling that stuff, and all along there's this little gym that was paying the ticket money to run ads. And
that seems hard though.
Be a sponsor.
I still wanted the quick fix.
Like we were a sponsor of the ticket tailgate for the Huskers, so like, I'd sit in your office and I was, chatting with Jake and DP, and then you're sitting there, we're working up our Farrell's package, and you're just
thinking about what you're gonna have for lunch.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's always like my family, like, well, I just like, I'm here. to help.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
but you know what?
if I only knew somebody that dealt with nutrition and
Yeah,
fitness.
but you talk about this all the time, how people get intimidated by it, and I think I was waiting for an invitation almost. You know, like I needed someone to say, like, yeah, you can do this. Because I didn't know. Like I was sitting there at 320 pounds. I didn't know, can I kickbox?
Right.
If you would ask me, I would have said no. Like
Now-
there's no chance I can join this program and do what these folks are doing.
If we could go back to the email archives, I'm pretty sure the first time that we did a sponsorship when I was chatting with you, I'm pretty sure I had mentioned the 10-foot challenge because you know that's who I am, right?
Now I kind of want to go back and look.
Right now, this I'm not sure. It probably would have
It's
been
possible.
2021 range. I think I also said if you ever need somebody to fill in, I'm available.
I remember that one. I remember that one.
So I threw both of those in there in the same email. But it was one of our first correspondence. I think I had mentioned, you know, if you're interested, and I don't know for sure. I mean, my memory is sometimes a little spotty, but you know, if I have an opportunity to ask somebody about joining, I usually do.
Oh, I have no doubt. And I'm not even trying to call you out for not inviting me to just do it. I just like I needed the formal written out, you know, like you open it up, there's a pop-up card with Mark Onweiler, you need to come and do this.
Yeah, I didn't just come out and tell you needed to do it.
Right,
which
right.
I always tread those conversations lightly. Like I'm not just like, hey, because we've done like parades and stuff where we've driven a Farrell's card through there. Like we have our members go hand out brochures, and I'm just like, okay,
You don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
Like,
You,
it's not
not you,
personal.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
And
like
parades, you're just blanketing.
Am I
Like you
just, like,
can't get to everybody.
looking for I think maybe this person could do like
No, it's
or-
not, and
or
that's
like-
not the case
or
at
like
all.
when we do like, you know, these health fairs or stuff, like you know, I don't want to single people out and be like, hey, I own a gym. Well, what are you saying? I mean, it's just
Go.
awkward, you know. So I like it for it to be the person's, you know, decision, which it was the person's idea. Because Mark, as a guy, I'm sure I know Nicole will say this about me, and I'm sure your wife will say this about you. Like it has to be our idea,
Right. Right.
like Nicole said sometimes. I think I'm going to whisper this to you in the middle of the night as you're sleeping, and then you'll wake up and be like,
I think it was your idea.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
This is what we need to do. And she says, yes, it worked. It worked. You know, subliminal messaging while I'm sleeping.
All right, we had
All
to
right.
break. I don't know why you
I
keep talking.
I didn't see any of this from Harrison.
I know, but
I thought you had it. You're an expert these days. We're on a year, man.
Oh,
We were talking about
right?
it.
He's trying to like give you a little.
well, I am
leeway.
I am hard of hearing and
All right,
eyesight
break.
and everything. All right, we'll be right back here with Mark Einweiler on Fitness Fanatics.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, you recognize them by their clothes, their age, the way they speak. Would you notice a 60-year-old boy who got his first job, not for extra spending, but to help feed his little son? Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Me who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass that if they never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Mario fue por más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se me estaban peleando las cosas, fue difícil. Me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro, del lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nos podría ser Alzheimer, es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/, nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
And that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No tag limits. Quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 18th, buy a 2x2 ticket. Enter and you could win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in Cash Blast. So play today. You'll have a blast. What goes without saying? 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
We're here with Sam Taylor, who was recently rescued after being shipwrecked on a remote Pacific island since 1993. Mr. Taylor, how are you feeling?
Sunburned.
After your lonely ordeal, is there anything we can get you?
How about a Powerball quick pick? With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, everybody wants to know about Powerball from the Nebraska Lottery.
Would you like something to eat? Some coconut cream pie?
You're kidding, right? Top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you know it's a 16-year-old boy who got his first job
for spending money to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner. Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends but just to get something to eat. Or very ill and
To choose between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcast Association station.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. We just have a few minutes here.
We did get confirmation.
Okay, yeah. So we'll cover this at the top of the hour. We're going to get into Mark's his eating habits before, so we'll go back to that. But before break, we were talking about how when we started marketing with the ticket in June of 2021 now, so we're almost on 2 years partnering with the ticket. I had emailed Mark and said, what did I say?
You want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Mark.
Make sure to point out any typos or any wrong use of your or to.
Ooh, okay, I will.
No.
Yeah.
And this was in
June 30th, 2021. Okay. Thank you for having me on the air today with Mike. It was nice meeting you as well after the show.
Yes.
Being on the radio is one of my dream jobs, behind owning a Pharaohs and helping change people's lives.
Oh, there we go.
I would happy to fill it at any time. I would just need a little notice in case I have to instruct a class or something. The only times I really wouldn't be available would be from 3 to 6 p.m.
Wow, you were selling
I was
hard.
looking for a job.
The 11 to 2 shows and 2 to 3 shows, I'm typically just sitting at home.
Yeah, there we go.
That's not wrong. Yeah.
Also,
here we go.
If you're interested in joining us at Farrell's, we would love to have you. Nicole and I have a pretty cool story on how we ended up in Lincoln and how I recruited Schaefer into doing Farrell's.
There you go. Shout out to Mike Schaefer.
The next challenge starts July 10th.
And Mark's reply was nothing.
I didn't delete the email.
Nope.
For what that's worth.
No job offer.
Right.
No, because the only reason I said that was because after I was on like the recruiting hour.
Yeah, I think so.
With Mike and Connor, and like, I don't know if you were to just tell everybody this, but you guys were saying like, oh, you just did a great job, and like, so I'm like, ooh, well, let me throw this in here at you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no response so that was almost 2 years ago. So what's interesting about that is, one, I have my phone has just so many text messages from people that are interested in joining or have questions. And, you know, I almost text back and forth with for almost everyone that joins. Like, not a lot of times where people will just go on to the website and enroll for ferals.
Without asking questions or yeah.
Yes, without asking a question, or the ones that do that are friends of you know, our members, so they don't really have any
Spouses and
questions.
stuff, yeah.
Spouses and stuff. Yeah. So, but I'll have people show interest, and I'll text them back and forth, and then I'll be like, "Hey, like I'll be doing this tomorrow. I'll be going back through my phone, saying, 'Hey, do you have any questions? The challenge starts this Saturday. You know, really hope you can join us.'" And then either I'll hear nothing back, or they'll say, "Okay, yes, I'm ready." But then maybe 2 challenges later, I'll get a text message, and I still have the string in my phone. I'll be like, "Well, this person reached out a year ago, and they're finally joining." So I think you need to be, if you're on the fence about enrolling for the challenge, Nicole and I, we just don't want you to enroll because, right? If you're just gonna sign up and pay to do this, we want you to be all in. We want you to be ready to change. The ones that start that are ready to change, they see changes. If you just start because, "Oh, well, maybe,
This
you
will
know."
be the thing, but then you don't actually do anything different
Right.
to really see change. But that's not to say you can't have you're never gonna find 10 weeks that you're never gonna have, like, any time. Like, you were gone, didn't you, right? In
Yeah,
your
I missed
10
some time,
weeks,
yeah.
you missed and you had
The
'cause you
Big
had
Ten
the
baseball
baseball
tournament.
tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
managed perfect attendance,
Yeah,
but I
yes.
wasn't always in the gym.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not to say, like, you can't have anything planned for the next 10 weeks, but you do have to kind of look ahead and see what's happening, what's going on. The spring session is usually a pretty good session. Summer session can get tricky, because people are transitioning from summer to their kids back to school, and so that sometimes if you're not prepared for that change, it's gonna kinda, trip you up a little bit. So, you definitely have to, as we talked about last week, I think too, begin with the end in mind, you know, make sure that you're looking ahead to like, can I commit to this? Because if you can, you will be successal.
Well, before we go to break, we did get a text from Jeremy the Grill Master. So Jeremy is doing the next 10-week challenge.
Yeah, he is.
And he is doing 5 AM at Yankee Ridge.
Yeah, he is.
Which
Yeah, he is.
Mark will be his coach.
Mhm.
So what's cool about this challenge, Jeremy, thanks for listening, is you can be, you know, part of this last group for Mark's annual challenge because he's gonna finish his annual challenge pretty much the same day that you'll be finishing this 10-week challenge.
Mhm.
So the 5 AM group, because we also got Pete Ferguson from Bigger Than the Score is doing 5 AM also. So he'll be there, you know, along with you for these last 10 weeks.
We're gonna have a fun group.
I know
Mhm.
it's going to be fun.
That's
And,
awesome.
and we already have a fun group too. The last group was awesome as well. Um, so yeah, so Jeremy, we're looking forward to seeing you in the gym, and who knows, maybe you can be a guest on the Fitness Fanatics.
Oh, now see, now you're just aiming for some food, though. I mean,
Yes, we need to maybe
Grill
Oh, the
master.
master,
now
yeah.
if Coach Bush was in here, he'd say live remote. We're gonna do a live remote at Jeremy's house on a Sunday for Fitness Fanatics with the
Steak
grill
and
going.
eggs.
Yeah, steak and eggs for breakfast. So
Look, Jeremy earned that title by bringing his grill here and making us food. All right, like Jeremy,
It's legit.
yeah, this is legit stuff.
okay,
Interesting.
okay.
Jeremy, I don't know. I actually haven't even tried your food yet because I was doing the 10-week challenge when you did it.
Yeah.
But I hear really good things, and you're gonna have to find some nice, healthy, protein-filled things to grill for us.
There's a lot of good.
I know there is.
Yeah.
I know
I
there
mean,
is.
Jeremy should kill this because the Grill Master has you can grill. I mean, you can grill a steak. You can, I mean, pork chop. I mean, everything. There's so many good proteins that you can eat, especially when it's getting nicer out, and you can bust that grill out. So he should have the protein down pat. All right. Well, I'm getting the break. So, all right, we're up for a break. We're coming back top of the hour on the Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
It would have been the part. They would have been. They would have won the national title. But not. That's too bad. You guys can wall up for him, and I'll over here and say it's a great day to be in Nebraska.
I'm just amazed by that tape. I'm amazed by
Oh,
that.
you can be amazed all you want. It ain't changed. Nothing you say changed my stance.
Early break with 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on and the road, but I just don't think. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. 4 in the morning, my phone rang, and I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. He was doing school full-time, and I was also caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aap.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Beth and Nicole Essing.
All right, welcome back in. It is top of the hour here. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time days, evenings, and weekends. If you are interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to ILC and one of our favorite members, Becky Moratsky, which we're going to be having her on here in a few weeks, joining the show. So having our sponsor come in. Couple texts real quick. Sean Erickson message on the stream, which he messages, but I always forget to read his messages, and then I hear about it when I see him. So Sean said we need more 8:30 a.m.ers. So if you're out there, 8:30.
That's when he goes.
That's when that's the country club time is what Raph says.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Country clubbers. So Sean Erickson, who is one of the sponsors on Early Break, he sponsors the mailbag with Modern Woodman. So we appreciate his support of the ticket and also support of Farrell. So love him and his wife Lauren. She comes to 6 a.m. So awesome people. So thanks for listening, Sean. We appreciate it. Pecan Pie had texted in. Said Coach Bush would also be asking for Farrell's swag at this live remote. So if we can pull this off, we'd have to get him some Farrell's swag to wear. Quick story about Pecan Pie. Now, Pecan Pie's wife goes to Farrell's, and she told me that if you're still listening, that you got a compliment from somebody that asked you if you worked out. Like,
that's the dream,
right?
Oh.
Because I always ask her, I'm like, so when's your husband gonna join? And then she's like, well, somebody just asked him if he worked out, thought he looked really good.
So now he's good for another year.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. He's that just so Pecan Pie out there changing lives. Yes, I work out. This is what we do, inspiring people. So appreciate you listening. All right, so let's get back to Mark. You wanted to talk about your relationship with food.
Yeah.
Before you started.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of kind of introspection, as we come up on the end of this national challenge. Part of it is you have to talk about how your life has changed.
Yeah, you do like a video and an essay.
You have a video and an essay. Yeah. Yeah. So I've changed my focus. I've written a lot of drafts, 4 or 5 different drafts of how I want to do it. And Nicole, one of them was actually based off of
You're Not Special.
You're Not Special. And for a long time, that was what I thought I wanted to do with this, was this idea of,
call me out.
Nicole says, I'm not special. The reasons that got me to where I was are not special. Yeah. I want to move past them. I want to focus on everything that has happened since.
For those of you who are just jumping in on the You're Not Special, it's actually my way of saying you're not, that makes you normal. The things that you think that are holding you back that you can't do, that doesn't make you special because you're, don't know if you can do kickboxing because you're 300, and 40 pounds or whatever. So it's like, that doesn't make you special. That makes you completely normal. So it's supposed to make you feel better, not make you feel bad about yourself. So just it for context. I want people out there thinking I'm just Jillian Michaels yelling, "You're not special" to people during class.
Yeah, I get like 4 words into an excuse, and that's the response. Whatever, you're not special.
I don't even use it as it's not about excuses. It's about giving yourself grace and just realizing you're not special. You're normal, and we all have these struggles, and that's what we're talking about. That's why you want to talk about this right now.
For sure. And that takes some time to realize, because no matter how many times you drill that into a person, it's not until you start having conversations with the other people in the gym and you hear about other people's surgeries or other people's whatever's going on at home or their schedules or whatever, whatever those excuses are that had been holding you back. Everyone's got them. They really truly do. Like if you take those 5 minutes while you're getting ready for class just to ask somebody their story, you're going to hear from every single person in there something similar. So going through that process of trying to think about what I wanted to say in these essays at the end, I did kind of flip to where I think that's important to talk about what led to where we are, and because you can't really show difference without having that to contrast, and that really led me to think about how I handled food before, and I knew it was a problem. I mean, like I said, I had the self-awareness to know that I needed help. I just didn't know what that was. So and we can go back to like childhood if we really want to. I mean, right. I mean, I was a kid that was like in the pantry with the lights off because I didn't want anyone to know that there was somebody in the pantry sneaking sugar out of the bag. Like that was me.
Yeah.
You know, I
Her
graduated.
mom comes in and she's like, "Why is there sugar all over the floor?"
Tim,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Ah, little brother.
What
God.
did you
And so I graduated high school. I'm about 200 pounds. I was 240 by the time freshman year was done. Right. And I know that's not an abnormal thing.
right.
People gain weight when they go to college. But it was having free reign of the cafeteria and having nobody watch what I'm eating.
No
you know.
schedule, really. A
Yeah,
weird
exactly.
schedule.
You know, again, a mini fridge right by the bed that I got to
Mhm.
stock up with Mountain Dew. I hadn't even discovered alcohol yet, and I was still gaining weight. But and then, you know, over the course of the next 15 years or whatever it was, there's a whole lot of yo-yo dieting. You know, you gain 50, lose 40, gain 60, up and down. And in my mind, I think because it was always fairly easy to lose for me. Again, just restrict the diet for 6 months, and we're at a place where the number on the scale is more tolerable. And then, so I almost think that for me was a detriment because I just knew, like, yeah, at any point I can flip the switch, we'll lose it again, and that was just getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
Though. You know,
Yes.
the further lost I got, I suppose,
Yeah.
the less likely that was that would happen. So then we can kind of look at COVID, right? And again, I was fairly unaffected by COVID in most ways. You know, I still came to the office. I had a job that had to be done. You know,
Right.
We even here in Lincoln, you know, we still got to go to the grocery store
Yes.
for
Yeah.
the most
Yes.
part. Like
Right.
just things like that. Our lives. You guys were way more impacted than I ever was. But the big thing that changed for me was my wife had a job at the time 2 blocks down the road. So we carpooled every single day. We had lunch every single day together. She went remote. So now it was kind of like going to college again for that first time. Like I'm unsupervised.
Yeah. You can eat
I know.
whatever I want.
Where she's like, no,
Yeah.
we're gonna eat at Subway or
Yeah.
we're gonna get something
For
healthy.
sure.
Yeah.
Even
a
if
salad.
even if we didn't, she was watching me make whatever
Right.
choice
That's
I
true.
made, you know? Like I couldn't just do whatever I wanted
Yeah.
because there were judging eyes.
Yeah.
And she would
Perceptive.
and
You
she,
perceived it.
right.
Yeah.
She would never say anything.
Right.
She would never say anything. But I just had to do it in front of somebody.
Yeah.
But that was gone. And you know, March, April, May 2020, there was that big eat local movement.
Oh my gosh, that
we
thing.
were right there with you.
We
Absolutely.
gained probably 10 pounds with that
absolutely.
eat local.
Yeah,
We
it was
had
our
to.
duty, our civic duty.
Tuesdays.
It really
Had to eat.
was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd be like, okay, we're starting fresh Monday. Monday's perfect macro day. I mean, log in, you got
Yep.
your calories, your protein. I
Yeah.
mean, we're just perfect. And then Tuesday gets here and it's like, oh, it's eat local
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Take out Tuesday. We got to pick something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Support the
Wait, I
local
need to go
businesses.
to,
So yeah,
to
that, we got
Napoli's.
caught in that trap for about
Right.
probably 3 weeks, and then we buckled it back down.
Well, good
But
for
yeah.
you. Good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Because I got caught in that trap, and then I thought, trap. It was a good thing
No,
to
it
do for
totally
local
was.
businesses,
Absolutely,
right? Like
yes.
it was important.
Yes.
But what I discovered was eating local was more expensive than going to McDonald's or Burger King or Little Caesars or something like that. So then the smart fiscal choice was to go to those other places. And again, this was just kind of where it spiraled for me because I Little Caesars, you can get a pizza for $6. And what I would tell myself was, great, that's 3 meals this
Right.
week for $6.
3 meals.
It wasn't.
But it wouldn't last that long.
We
Yeah.
absolutely would not. I mean, that's
One meal.
Yeah, one meal. Absolutely.
Right. And
Yep.
then the whole time this is so typical. This happens to everybody because the whole time you're thinking, well, I'm going to eat it anyway. I might as well just eat it now. It was
Right.
only $6.
Right.
Like, yeah. So it is definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to put it to waste. So I would have that in my office. I mean, I had multiple pizza boxes shoved under my desk because I didn't want folks to know how I was eating. So I would stash them away until I could find a moment to take them all out to the dumpster.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I would eat like that here at the office and then not want my family to know that I was stuffed already. So I would make a point of having an even bigger dinner just for show, basically, to go home and do that. And again, like, food is so tied to emotions and comfort and things like that. And I'm sure there were plenty of other reasons why I felt the need to turn to that. But just at this point, it was shame, which I comforted with food.
Yeah.
Which then and when you eat like that, you crave more like that. Like, it was this spiral that I truly didn't.
You were basically just a lab rat at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just responding to that stimulus over and over.
Pavlov's dog.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
And like I said, I knew it was wrong. I didn't want people to know that was my life. I was incredibly ashamed of all of it. And like I said, Googling Overeaters Anonymous, I was looking for some way out. I didn't know what it was. Like, I know my wife isn't listening right now because she hates to listen to me on the radio. Like,
she hears you all the time.
Yeah, she just won't.
You are not special to her either, apparently, on the radio.
No, absolutely not. I still don't think she knows the extent of how much I was hiding.
Well, and you probably didn't really know either until you started really reflecting.
No, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Well, and something that has been kind of enlightening to me is, I mean, you guys have some idea of how often food just kind of shows up here at the radio station.
Oh yeah,
I've already eaten a peanut butter cup this morning. That was
Oh yeah.
Just one.
You're that candy bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's ever empty,
yeah.
It
was empty last week
because I was gone.
Dry.
I was gone all week.
Just fine.
So I was gone with COVID, and then some other issues popped up, and I got a text from Coach Bush. Hey, bowl's empty. Like, I'm in quarantine. Give me a day or two. Come on. Bowl's empty. So he texted me a picture of the empty bowl.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, it does.
No, so those things show up here, and as a person who likes to provide food, I always felt when somebody else is doing it, like it's again my duty to eat it. Like, it's rude not to eat it. But then on top of that, I would grab one to eat for everyone to see, and then grab two more that I didn't want anybody to see, and take those to my office. Right. Like, I just being aware of all of those, like the amount of food that I was eating without even really thinking about eating it. And then the amount of food I was putting an incredible amount of effort into eating.
Like the whole setup and process. I kind of got into that one time when I was a stay-at-home mom right after Ben was born. And it would be a thing where I would go to Wendy's. This was kind of a pivotal moment for me. I would take the kids, we'd go to the grocery store, then we'd go to Wendy's, and then we would go right across the street to the car wash, and I could eat my entire meal during the car wash. And then it's like it didn't happen. Like, you can convince yourself that it didn't happen.
As long as you eat it before you get home.
You convinced yourself it didn't even happen. So that was kind of a pivotal moment when it became a habit. And I was like, this is not healthy. This is not mentally healthy for me. Obviously, I know that I shouldn't be eating Wendy's multiple times, or whatever on a regular basis. And so, I've had those moments too, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I'd forgotten about this till you brought it up, but we would order pizza, and I would order a side of breadsticks, or even like an entire small pizza. Sorry. To eat myself on the way home. So that then when I got home, I'm like, I have my 2 slices. I'm eating a normal amount, and I could feel okay about that because I had already scarfed down however much on. Yeah. Right. So
I'll tell you what,
don't do that.
We've all been there. Right.
You do that.
I'll be like, I need to eat I need to eat a breadstick before I get home, because now Nicole and I, we have.
It's not to that level. You won't eat an entire thing, but it'll already have been broken into by the time.
We have food insecurities as well.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
We want to make sure, like, when we order something, there is enough. So, like,
more than enough.
We would make 2 boxes of mac and cheese for us,
right?
Instead of 1, which is 6 servings, we'd have 12 servings.
Yeah.
Or we had, like when we would get pizza for the family. I mean, we're getting just way, because we didn't want to not have enough. Like, we'd be so like nervous
Which is ridiculous. It's abundant.
I know,
food
but
is
that's
everywhere. I
you
know.
know. And I
Yeah.
think for me, it still stems back from just getting the pizza crust as a kid.
I
You know, here, eat the crust.
His brothers would order pizza and they would eat it and only give him the crust. That's all he got was the crust.
So I have some deep, you know.
How many siblings do you have?
Well, I had 2 older brothers.
Okay.
They were the culprits.
Yeah.
But
So
you're an adult now and you realize that you don't have to eat the crust. Like
I
you're
know.
not, you can, but anyway, back
It's
to
an
you.
excuse.
Back to
All right.
Mark.
No, I get
Yeah.
that. I think there was, I mean, I can remember having to eat as much pizza as I could as fast as I could because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know? So if you ate slow, you only got your first serving. So
Right.
You go back and there's nothing.
Yeah,
left.
exactly.
True.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how do you think that like the Farrell's plan helped with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard reset, and it wasn't easy. I mean, we joke now
Yeah.
about the Culver's incident,
Right.
right?
The grilled cheese sandwich.
yeah. So that was, I think that was week 2 or 3 of
I think it was week 3,
of the
but yeah. Mhm.
of the 10-week challenge. So to recap,
Mhm.
I had been going really hard at the meal plan, you know, tracking all my calories, and again, it was a hard reset for me. I was trying to break all of those habits instantly, you know, and just complete 180 shift. I hadn't eaten out in 2.5 weeks or whatever it was at that point, which for me was a complete change from normal behavior. So we go to Culver's. I had already figured out if I get the grilled chicken sandwich, I'd saved, you know, carbs to have that and some mashed potatoes without gravy or whatever it was, you know, whatever I was going to have. And instead of the grilled chicken sandwich, they served me a grilled cheese.
Did you get grilled cheese and mashed potatoes? That was your
Yes. Yep, that was the meal they
Which is-
decided to serve me.
Like, who orders that?
Nobody was like, wait a minute.
They didn't question
Let me
it.
reread this.
I had no idea grilled cheese was on their menu until it showed up on
It
my
was
plate.
on the kids' menu.
Yeah, apparently.
Anyway.
Yeah, right. I'm a 300-pound
Yeah.
man ordering up the kids' menu at that point. Like, that's all I want. Thanks.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese and potatoes.
And mashed potatoes. That
And
sounds
dry
like
mashed
that
potatoes.
sounds
And
like
water.
a dream Jeff meal. But anyway, yeah. Yes. And it was
and
difficult.
and it was all of those emotions that I had tied to food started coming back, you know, even before Farrell's. Anytime my wife would say, hey, we should try something different, let's go no sugar, let's go low carb, whatever it was, and I would just shut down. Like the idea of doing that to me, like it scared me. It angered me. Like it was all of those emotions that I tied to food. She was trying to take away all that happiness and comfort tied to food.
I
she was
remember-
trying to take away.
I remember during your 10 weeks too, you talked about how you used to look at dieting like you either hard
Oh,
win
yeah.
or lost
Yep.
the day, like
Yep.
or the meal or whatever.
Yeah, I was in competition with
Yes,
food.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I had to beat food.
Mhm.
And I would look at myself in the mirror in the morning, like, okay, I'm gonna beat food today.
Mhm.
And then at the end of the day, I'd look in the mirror, like, did I do it? Yes, great, good job.
Mhm.
Or did I do it? No. Well, all right, I guess we'll try again tomorrow and start a new streak. And that was the other thing, was I had to like streak
Mhm.
the days.
Yeah.
You know, if I went 3, 4, 5 days of beating food and then I lost, like, well, all right,
Yeah, 2 and 3 weeks in.
now we gotta start over.
You know, getting that grilled cheese sandwich could have derailed the whole thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I was still
Which
kind of
sounds
in that
so
mindset.
silly. We joke about it, you know, but
I know.
yeah,
A grilled cheese sandwich.
Right,
Yeah,
I know.
being the thing that ruins everything.
Right, but it's
But I still
so
had
mental.
that mindset. Yeah, of I'm in competition with food.
Yeah.
Now this grilled cheese is my enemy,
Mhm.
and somehow I have to reconcile still eating it and admitting defeat.
Yeah,
Then at that
right.
point,
Yeah.
it was a hard thing, and it was important. You know, like it was a weird challenge to go through, but it was
Mhm.
one I think I had to go through. You know,
Yes.
to view food that way and be like, okay,
Yeah.
eat the thing, go find some more protein somewhere else.
Have you had any grilled cheese sandwiches since
I
then?
have,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
They're
Fit
good.
it
I
into your
love 'em.
day. I know. I kind of want grilled cheese sandwiches today. It sounds really good.
Wait till tomorrow. The weather's worse tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's in the 70s.
Well,
today.
it's Monday now.
Yeah,
But
we
Monday's
can't have
tomorrow.
I
You
can't
get-
have a grilled cheese sandwich on a Monday.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yes, you
Has to be-
can fit it into your macros easily.
Has to be on your free day.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because like I can't eat just one grilled cheese.
You could.
I need 2 grilled cheese.
And what if you did like a double-decker grilled cheese?
We've done those. You know what we've made? We're kind of getting off rail here, but
Every time you talk, we get off track.
I've been pretty quiet.
I know.
So, like you grill a burger, and then you have your grilled cheese sandwiches as the buns.
I have never partaken in this.
That's
That's
good.
too much.
So you have a grilled cheese sandwich on top, grilled cheese sandwich on the bottom.
We got to talk some more after my national
And your
challenge is
burger.
done. Like come July, I
Right.
think we need to.
I kind of got
Maybe,
that
maybe
from
not.
Zombie Burger in Des Moines.
Okay.
There's a Zombie
Okay.
Burger there, and they have kind of a grilled cheese as the bun. So, all right, we're up
yeah.
against the break.
Yep.
We'll be right back with Mark Onweiler on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages at their higher production operators at 21 cents per hour, which grows to 28.7 per hour over years. Skilled trade positions now 76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonus and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other. I said it a lot. Glad you took it to heart.
Visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmeline and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt Us Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackamick. I served in the United States Air Force and I've deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to take some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of it, confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. We're back here on the Fitness Fanatics. We've been talking about Mark's food insecurities.
Got a little deep.
Yes. So that's good though. Like with that whole grilled cheese thing, like you came in that Sunday and we talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Like and yes, Mark was on with us every week, having the accountability of like, okay. And when you did miss, we would say something.
Yeah.
On the
Oh,
show.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of how it is for everybody that joins Feral. Like, obviously you don't have a scheduled like we had a scheduled one-on-one time with Mark.
Built-in therapy. It was
Built,
nice.
yes.
Yeah.
So every Sunday from 9 to 9:30, that's what we talked about in our first segment. Now we just talk about whatever, but
Yeah.
that was the first segment of the show. And if you're with us, Nicole and I are at the gym all the time. Like anytime, and hopefully some of our new 10-week challengers are listening too, because we shared this with them that they're getting ready to start. But if we're not teaching class at if you come to 5 a.m. and we're not teaching at 6, we're just at the desk. So like
We're there for that reason.
Yeah, you
for
can-
people to ask us questions.
yeah,
and
you
stuff.
can come over and chat with us anytime. If you have a question, you can text us. I mean, that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
So we don't have a built-in, weekly therapy session like we did with you for 10 weeks, but your coaches are there to listen and we're there to listen. So if you're getting ready to start or you're thinking about starting, that's kind of a unique thing about Ferals is you have people there at your disposal if you choose to use them.
Yeah.
And use us.
Mark could have just been like, yeah, it was a great week and not told the story about the grilled cheese sandwich. You know what I mean? Like you could have, but
you could have seen it on my
you wouldn't have
face.
looked.
Still
You were already really
weighing
nervous because
on
I'm
me,
pretty
yeah.
sure that was when Matt from Nutrition Authority was coming in. And so he needed to like cleanse
That's fine.
confession so he could, focus.
Let's pivot to the annual challenge. So you have 10 weeks left.
Well, at what point in the 10 weeks do you think that, or was it the 10 weeks that kind of that shift happened with the nutrition,
With
or was
food?
it after? Yeah, with food.
I think it was probably during the 10 weeks where
Okay.
I kind of fell into a groove.
Yeah.
And I've taken different approaches to it over the course of the last year.
Mhm.
I go through 3 or 4 weeks where I
Eat the
I
same
just eat
exact
the same
things.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to try and branch out, and then I'll go through stretches where I get tired of that, and let's
Mhm.
start having some fun. But for me, that's been the biggest difference. Is it's almost like a big puzzle, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's a new world of food that I get to explore
Mhm.
and play with, because it used to be, again, how indulgent, how sweet, how whatever can I make this, to make it the absolute best tasting meal I've ever had.
Yeah.
Now it's okay, let's see what fun can I have with new ingredients that I've never played with. And it's just a different playground for me at this
Mhm.
point, which
Yeah.
I enjoy.
Yep. Good. So after the 10 weeks was over,
Well, you were even kind of on the fence about doing the national challenge.
Oh, I was.
You
Yeah.
were just like, because I was like, no, this is something you should do. And then we had Peter on. This is one of the many weekends Nicole was gone. So it was just me and you, and Peter joined us for almost the whole show, and because he had just won the national challenge for the guys. So we talked about his journey and stuff, and that's when you were kind of like, oh, maybe I should do this.
Yeah. Well, I was, like I said, I was on the fence about what I was going to do after the 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mhm.
people had asked me at class. I said, I think I can probably take what I've learned here, go apply it to just lifting at the gym or anything like that. And
you've ran before, so probably in
right,
your
I
head,
was-
you're like, I'll get into running again.
Exactly,
It's over
exactly.
in June or in April, springtime. We get that a lot from people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in my head, I didn't want to be tied to one thing. Again, it's a lot of what we do at Farrell's is about setting you up for future success.
Mhm.
And certainly when it comes to food, in my mind, I thought, let's apply that to the exercise as well. I've had 10 weeks of solid exercise. We've built a little bit of a foundation. Let's go see what exists outside of that.
Mhm.
And the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about myself,
Mhm.
it became pretty apparent that that wasn't going to happen.
You weren't ready for that yet.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I mean, in my mind, I had made really good progress, but I'm still sitting there at 280 some pounds.
Yeah, I think that you did so well in your 10 weeks, but I think you still wanted more.
Mhm.
So I think if you had lost, how much weight did you lose in the 10 weeks?
36.
Yeah. So if it had been 42,
Mhm.
I don't know, but I feel like you had that 40 in your head, or you had a
Oh,
number in your
absolutely, I
head.
did. Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah,
hit it.
fell just a little short of
Yeah.
it.
And you could have gone either way. Like, well, this was stupid. I didn't even hit my goal, but I think you used that a little bit to push you.
Well, and there was still some fear of backsliding
Mhm.
at that point. And I do think if I had not signed on to continue, and potentially even if I had just stayed on as a member but not done this national challenge, if I didn't have that carrot in front of me, that I think we'd be sitting and having a different conversation here right now.
About starting the next session next
Exactly.
Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, you guys think I could do it again?
Yeah.
Let's try it out."
It's possible. It happens all the time. That also would not make you special. That would make you totally normal. We have people
because
that
we've done it.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
have done the program
So,
multiple times
yes.
and it just didn't quite catch. It didn't click. It didn't, stick. So you were just fortunate that it stuck right away.
Well, and I mean, just looking at what I know I have done in the past, pre-Farrell's, there's still fear of what happens, come July.
Yeah, that's probably never going to go away.
Yeah, I'm sure not.
Yeah,
I'm
it'll
sure
be there.
not. Yeah. And I don't want that to be my motivating factor. I don't want fear of
No.
I want to be excited about what my body can do, not afraid of what it might do.
Yeah. No, that's very good.
But for this 10 weeks, like a lot of what I've been doing, it's not just about losing weight or anything like that. It has been about setting myself up to have cool life experiences. I got tired of watching other people do things. Like for me, that was a big thing. My family, my sister lives out in Breckenridge, Colorado. Dylan now, I guess. And we like to go visit her. I see her, snowboarding and hiking and things that I just couldn't do before. And there are so many opportunities when we go visit out there that I don't want to be the reason we have to say no.
Right,
I don't
right.
want to be the person that's holding things back. I remember once my siblings were all going to go do this 10K up in South Dakota, and I came along, but I didn't do the run, and just things like that. Like I hated that. I hated that experience. I wanted to go along. I wanted to be part of the group, but I hated just sitting on the sidelines for anything. And I was really tired of that idea of sitting on the sideline. So when I started the national challenge, I wrote out a list of here are things I want to do over the course of the next year.
Was running on the Bulls on that list?
I've added it on.
Okay.
It's at the bottom of the list, running with the Bulls.
Sorry.
But no, it was a 5K. I wanted to do a 10K, a half marathon. I'm signed up for the half. I've done the 5K and the 10K at this point. I'm signed up for the half. I wanted to hike a 14er out in Colorado, which is a 14,000 foot mountain. I think there's 50 some of those in the US. We knocked 4 of them off when we went out there last fall. I wanted to get a tattoo because I've never had the confidence that a tattoo would look good on my body before. And I don't know if it does or doesn't, but I have positive enough body image.
When you got it, I remember asking Jeff, I was like, has he always had that? So that's a good
What
thing.
did I say? I think so.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's a good thing. That means it looked natural. Like
Hey,
it looked like it was supposed to
good.
be on you. And then I was like, then I asked you
Yeah.
because I was like really trying to remember. So yeah, no, it looked natural.
And it was just like I got tired of caring about whether it did look good or not. It's something I want
or couldn't do
right.
something.
Exactly. A big one for me is something I've wanted to do for a long time is jump out of an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weight limit to that, like the parachutes have very real limits. And
And it's something that you don't. I mean, I wouldn't even want to be close to the limit. That would make me nervous. Yeah, no, it would make me nervous.
So that has long been my goal, to be under 220 because that's kind of their base limit. And if there's a an extra fee to use a different
Oh.
parachute if you're above that or whatever. But
Mhm.
220 is that limit. So I'd always set that anytime I try to lose weight before, set it at 220. Had never made it. Had never made it to
Interesting.
220. Jumping out of an airplane in May.
Oh,
Like we're signed
that's
up.
awesome.
It's happening,
Yeah.
So those are the things that for me have been motivating factors moving forward. Just to not have to say no to whatever life throws at me.
Mhm.
Like I want to be that guy that is up for whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's what's gonna help keep you accountable too, because like you said, you don't wanna worry about who going back to where you were, but you're building on those experiences in such a way that, like, you have so many things that you are proud of yourself for doing,
Mhm.
and then it keeps you keep asking, "Well, now what?
Yeah.
Well, now
Yeah.
what? Now what?" So that, I think, will help keep you motivated too, instead of the fear of going back to kinda where you were. So I think it really, I mean, I feel like you've done that in a really big way. That's a lot of things
It
to
is.
try to
It
cram
is.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. And some things are big and some things are little. Like, that's good. That's awesome.
So last session you started coaching,
Mhm.
and then you're going to coach this session. So how did that kind of change? Like how was that for you? Um, Transitioning from like, okay, I'm just going in there focusing on myself to now I'm kind of focusing on not only me but helping others.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I didn't know what to expect with it. And I know you guys have told me people are watching me,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think kind of put that into focus for me that let's
Mhm.
use that, I suppose. I do have something to offer
And you
here.
do really well with that little layer of accountability too.
Absolutely,
Yeah, and
absolutely,
you know
yeah.
that
So
about
so
yourself.
selfishly, that like I'm actually
That's
really looking forward to that for these next 10 weeks
Mhm.
to selfishly be able to tell the other 5 a.m.ers on my team, like, I need you
Yes.
to hold me accountable here.
Mhm.
Like I have to be at class.
Yep.
I need you to see that I'm pushing hard. Like I want you watching me
Mhm, mhm.
because I do need that. But I also really enjoyed just being on the side watching other people make progress
Mhm.
and being able to feel a little bit of ownership of that while they're going through their stuff. Because everyone goes through their stuff
Yeah.
throughout that 10 weeks. And so to be the one that they're turning to, that they're asking questions to, that they're leaning on a little bit. For me, it was like being a proud dad there at that
Mhm.
10-week party, just kind of watching them all. I enjoyed that a lot.
Well, and you like you're affecting more than just the people on your team because again we talked about how like people will reach out to me and say, well, how'd you hear about us? Well, I've listened to Mark on the ticket and Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark and Mark, right? So there's been people that have joined the challenge that you've never met. They've just listened to your story on the radio. um and like we had John and Cortland had texted in a little earlier and just said, been observing your progress, Mark. Keep on, brother.
Thanks, John.
So just stuff like that, like you're impacting other people. And two, I believe you're impacting listeners out there that, they might not be doing ferals, but listening to your story has motivated people to start their own fitness journey
Mhm.
wherever it may be.
Yeah.
Because they've heard you on the radio for so long. It's like, now if he can do it, then I can do it. And again, not with ferals, but just getting active and starting their own weight loss journey and fitness journey. So the impact that you've had, not just on the people at 5 a.m. that see you, but people at Meadow Lane and that join that are like, yeah, well, I saw what Mark was doing. So like Jeremy said, I've been thinking about this since after Mark's 10-week challenge. So here we are a year later,
Yeah.
and he's finally pulling the trigger because he's ready. He's ready to do it. We did have another text I want to address before we get to break here from Bryce. Said, what is the nutrition guidance during the challenge like? So I'm gonna let you answer that.
Yeah, so we use the InBody body composition scale that will break down your body composition, and it will basically gives us a baseline of how many calories your body uses to just do nothing all day long. So that's kind of the baseline that we do, and then we increase that from there to put you into a calorie deficit, but still give you enough fuel, enough food to get through your workouts, maintain and build muscle, lose body fat. And then from there, it's, we give you guidelines. We do have a kind of a meal plan that's planned out. But we don't recommend that you stick to that completely, because we want you to, and Mark, this too, we want you to be able to fit it into your life too. So if you come in and you do the 10 weeks and you follow that simple meal plan that was created by a registered dietitian that's on staff at Farrell's, if you follow that, and then after you do great, and after 10 weeks, go right back to the mini fridge, restocked into all this stuff, you really didn't learn. So I think that's what's important. And I think that's why we like to talk to Mark too, because he has really made it fit into his life. But it's basically like he said, it's like putting together a puzzle every day. So we'll give you your calorie goal. We'll give you how many grams of protein and carbs and fat you want to have for each day. And then you're just trying to fit it in, right? And that's what you've been doing too, right, Mark?
And my strategy during the 10 weeks, once I really kind of figured out what I was doing, was I was incredibly consistent with breakfast and lunch. Basically the same thing every day for breakfast and lunch, because I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want that to be an area where I had to put energy into, and or somewhere where I slipped up. So I knew if I ate this for breakfast, ate this for lunch, I was good. And it left me a good amount of wiggle room for dinner. So when I was at the beginning, I'd be really strict about tracking my dinners and everything. But towards the end, as long as I knew I wasn't going over while still being adequate, like I wasn't as strict with tracking my dinners at that point, because I'd done what I needed to do earlier in the day to be able to have some fun with my dinner.
Yeah. And that, by having fun with your dinner, you're not talking about like ordering a pizza. You're not talking about going through the drive-through.
No,
you're talking about
but
knowing that
better
you're
than-
not having to necessarily weigh out every single ounce of protein that you
Right.
eat, and every single, so you were still eating healthy.
But let me be clear. I still had pizza.
Yeah.
I would order from Domino's and I'd get their thin crust with chicken
Yeah.
and red peppers, and it fit into my macros.
Yes, and that's the thing, because you can't. This is what people don't believe it when you say you can eat whatever you want. That's true, and it's not true. Like, not everything's going to fit,
Right.
and it's not. You could probably make anything fit, but it might not be the amount you're used to eating. So you have to,
Or it might be the only thing you eat that day.
Right? Yeah, we definitely don't recommend using all your macros in one. But if you have something going on, that's totally fine. So you really can. But the good and bad part about that is it does put a little responsibility on each individual person, because you have to take the time to learn how many grams of protein are in, 4 ounces of chicken or 2 eggs or a cheese stick or whatever, and how that's going to fit into your day. So that takes a long time. But this because you've been doing this for a year, how much easier it is now, right? Like you have it so dialed in now.
And I can walk into just about any restaurant and I can find something that's going to work. I don't have to have that stress associated with.
Because you can eyeball it and you can like get a steak and know, okay, well, I can't eat all of this, but what you eat at home, and you can mimic that out. And so hopefully that answers the question. You can't really, you have to do it to really make sense. So I know sometimes it seems like nutrition is kind of gatekeeped, and people always keep it a secret, and like, how do you do it? Well, it's not a secret. It's just you have to do it to learn how to do it.
And it's so individual.
Yeah.
Yes. What you eat in a day, Nicole, and what I eat in a day.
We have totally different goals. We have totally different schedules. Like that's, we're up super early. Sometimes we're eating lunch at like 10:30 in the morning because we've been up and taught multiple classes, and like Jeff needs to eat his lunch at 10:30 so he can get his nap in for the day. So if he's waiting until noon, right, he'll get his nap in. So it's an individual thing. We're not trying to like gatekeep it by any means, but like it's just a matter of you kind of have to take the time to do it.
One real quick text before we go to break from Jim. I met Jim on Thursday or Friday. I think Friday I met Jim. He's going to be starting with us at Yankee Ridge. Says, good show, Mark, Jeff, and Nicole. Looking forward as a 70-year-old in doing strength training with you guys, better nutrition and fitness. He's going to be doing the 7 a.m. class starting in April, starting with the next challenge. So,
awesome.
Yes, it was nice to meet Jim. He's a longtime listener to the ticket. Great guy. So, we're looking forward to having him and everybody that's going to be starting. So we're going to be up against the break here. We'll be right back and wrap things up on Fitness Fanatics.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions. with laborers starting at $20 and up base experience. Construct immediate job for bridge builders and start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing me better because they knew what I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal, a dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DV, sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
If you can plan barbecues and wedding plans to yourself from an ask, sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at gov/plan.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Can I go to the sleepover?
If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Brian. At 58, doctors told me I had the heart of a 37-year-old man. Me that after my heart transplant surgery. If you're a smoker, here are some tips in case that happens to you. First, you have to quit smoking before you can get on a list for a transplant. So quit now and never feel sorry for yourself. I don't. I only feel sorry for that 37-year-old man.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-6669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe. And it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, last segment here. If you missed any part of the show, you can go to theticketfm.com's website and click on shows. We're under weeknights, weekends, Fitness Fanatics. All of our shows for the last year are on there. Again, we will not have a show next Sunday, Easter Sunday. So Nicole and I are just looking forward to not coming in once.
It's not going to change
course,
anything. It's not like we're sleeping in. I'll still be up.
We'll be bored probably.
Yeah.
Like,
No, we'll be
what are we
running.
Yeah, take that opportunity.
We have
to
not
run.
been running for this, but
But
yeah.
anyway, So yeah, you can check us out there. Also, if you are wanting to do the next 10-week challenge that starts next Saturday, really easy to enroll. You can go to the Ticket FM website as well, theticketfm.com. So you can enroll for the 10-week challenge and then start listening to previous podcasts all at the same time. So it's all right there. There's a banner on there. You can click to enroll. There's a promo code for the ticket listeners that you can use as well. Also, my info's on there too. So if you have any questions, you can text me directly. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you here next Saturday. So just finish up with Mark. He has 10 weeks to go. Well, 11 weeks now.
But who's counting? Yeah.
Father's Day weekend coming up. If you want to do 5 a.m. at Yankee Ridge, Mark will be your coach.
Yeah, highly recommend.
So,
but we don't.
Me and my mom. We're
That's
co-coaching.
awesome.
Yes.
And we'll probably fill up at 5 a.m. too. That's one of them that's probably gonna get
6
full.
6 a.m. at Yankee Ridge is pretty much about full.
Yeah.
So 5 a.m. is getting there as well. So those are the two popular times. But we hope to see everybody. Any last words of advice if people are teetering on the fence? Any advice you can give for people thinking about doing it or a little hesitant?
I would say it's a big life change, right? Like, and in the best possible way, it's a big life change. I don't think I've talked to anybody who has regretted coming and doing it. We were talking, I think we were talking off air about how important it is to be ready for that. So if it's not this time, it's next time, whenever it is, whenever you're ready to do it. But if you are thinking, I need to do something, if you are sitting around just waiting for that lifeline, like for me, this was it. This was that lifeline that I needed to pull me back to where I needed to be. So if you're looking for something like that, I highly recommend trying Farrell's. Don't be intimidated by it. It's a lot of fun. You get a punch, you get a kick,
and you don't get punched back.
Right. Yeah.
Very rarely.
Which is even more fun.
Except it did come up on my memories. Yesterday was the anniversary of the time Mike Schaefer almost punched me in class because I was trying to help him with his hook punch. So that did actually happen. He almost did. He posted, it's the 1-year anniversary where I almost punched you. Yeah, this was was on my memories this year from a couple of years ago. So
he has a big hook punch.
That would be my fault though.
You don't want to get in the way of a hook from Mike Schaefer or you'll be knocked out.
I know.
So
well, great job, Mark. We're really looking forward to seeing what happens in the next 11 weeks.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So keep out sharing the good, progress, and we'll get you there.
Again, no show next weekend. We'll be back here on April 15th or April 16th. So you guys have a great week. Hopefully we see a lot of you coming up for the next 10-week challenge. Have a great week. See you next time.